artists that you have managed, or
Well,
just a few.
I don't consider myself a manager.
Well, you said you managed Life Jennings,
But I mean,
so,
I've managed as
right.
one part
The
of
music
what I've
world
done.
is-
I've also produced. I'm an executive producer. I.
Well, who are some of the artists? So maybe our audience, that
So
don't know.
let's-
You're
let's-
telling your story.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. So at Sanctuary, I talked about Shaka Khan. The album is Classic Khan with the London Symphony. Shaka actually went over to London and did Standard Records. One day she went kicking and screaming. One day she's gonna when she gets older and go to Vegas and wants to sit
And
down
they
in
do
a
a
chair
residency.
and do all these standards in the audience full of white people.
Yep.
Right.
She's gonna appreciate that. Cool in the Gang, their last album, Earth, Wind and Fire, Pure Gold, before Maurice. I have a photo in my office of signing them actually
Maurice White.
when Maurice was still alive. De La Soul, I was telling
Yeah,
you.
we talked
Again,
about
these
that.
are not. This is from a record label perspective.
Right.
Uh, gosh,
You gotta-
I'm trying to think of the white kid out of Canada. Uh, actually, Destiny's Child did their first. Oh, I'm glad I thought about that because I keep forgetting.
So, I'll go back to what I said at the beginning of your intro when I sat down with you in Miami. Just from what we're hearing and what his knowledge is way more. I mean,
But then let's talk about when I again, this is public information, but it's public trading, so anybody can look this up. I sold in 2002 Music World of Sanctuary. Sanctuary was the largest independent record label and management company in the world. I sold Music World for $10 million. I got an unpublished amount of stocks, which exceeded 10. I'll just leave it at that. And I became the president. We formed a division, Music World
Like this
Sanctuary Urban. Again, this is all public information. Troy Carter and Julius Irving
Dr. J.
the third. They had Eve and they had Floetry, and I bought their company for $1 million. They're the largest urban entertainment in the world.
Yeah.
Music World Sanctuary Urban. So that's where people kind of. It's as if I never did that. I had 100+ employees. I had an office in Houston, office in New York, office on Sunset in L.A., office in London, and I had all these people reporting to me.
And these are things that people don't realize when they hear your name, that you so fucking accomplished in this game, bro.
Yeah,
People try to pigeonhole you just in this one little, or not just one, but in that one.
In this family thing. And that's, people don't know. I want you to go and research. The first artist that I ever signed was not Destiny's Child. People, that's a Jedi mind trick. We all got the Jedi mind. The first artist that I ever signed is Lil O.
Out of Houston?
Out of Houston.
Rapper.
His first single is Can't Stop, and it features Destiny. And Destiny is now, as you know, Destiny's Child. I signed Lil O to MCA Records when MC, from Puffy to
Andre
Jodeci
Harrell
to
Heavy D.
Mary
Father
J.
MC.
I signed this kid to the biggest, greatest urban record
And
label.
people think you just came on with
Destiny's Child, with Columbia. That Columbia wasn't noted for urban then. And then you were there. You might remember there. And when we talk about the racism in the music industry, there was a boy group that I had on my label and managed, because we kind of started this 360 thing. It was Signature. I don't know if you ever remember that white group on Columbia called Signature.
Sounds familiar.
It was 4 white boys could
R&B,
sing, but sound R&B.
kind of like Color Me Bad type.
No, man, they were like Boys to Men.
Oh, they was real soulful.
Yeah, and they're the catalog. You can go to Signature.
Okay.
And it's spelled S-Y. So these guys, I came up, this is the first ever to be played on urban radio. And so on the single, I did a silhouette of them, because I knew the black programmers
color is
knew
There was some white
they were
dudes.
white, and they eventually did. The record got to 10, and they dropped them once they found out.
Damn.
Wow.
Ain't that some shit?
But I can tell you this: their advance was larger, their marketing budget was larger
Because
Their video
because
budget-
of them being white.
because they were white. Do you remember the girl group that sold millions on Columbia? A girl group out of Sweden. They would people just don't know, man.
What with you mentioned
just don't
you
know.
mentioned you texting Michelle earlier, Michelle Kelly. Like I know that's family. I mean these girls you've been in their lives both personally and professionally. How are those? How is the relationship now? Is it more of a father-daughter relationship? Is it strictly? I mean, how is that?
Which ones? Because
With
the
Kelly
relationship is
and-
certainly different with Solange and Beyonce.
No, I'm talking about with
Kelly and
Kelly. No, I'm
Michelle.
talking about with Kelly and Michelle.
No, I don't talk to Michelle I'm sorry, with Kelly as much.
Mhm.
And when I talk to any of them, it's more text. I talked to Michelle today just to remind her of a little business she had forgotten about.
Oh,
I had to remind her of that. But you know, I actually talked to Michelle about 3-4 weeks ago.
okay.
You know, they're all doing good. What I love about Michelle and Kelly, what I love about Michelle is like she was so smart, man. She realized that she had an
She's a
opportunity.
very humble young lady.
Well,
Very humble.
Very humble.
very cool.
She comes from. I would not have gotten in a gospel industry. I never. That was never my area. But when I came up with the strategy that each one of them, and I asked them, "What is it that's your passion?" Michelle, as a solo artist, I asked what were their passion. And Michelle's was gospel.
Mm-hmm.
And Donnie Einer and I, we sat and I said, Donnie, I can't.
Donnie is the former president
President.
of Sony Records.
And a
Sony.
really good friend. I used to say if there was a dark alley and there was 10 people at the end of the alley and I had to pick 2 people, Donnie Einer would have been one of them. Because I know he wouldn't have ran. He's that guy. Italian dude. I love Donnie. But, you know, we said we couldn't afford for Michelle to lose in a gospel. So I said, okay, so I'll start a gospel label. Donnie gave me the money to start a gospel label. We wanted to ensure that Michelle had number ones because each one of the girls had number 1 solo projects. You know,
They
that's
did.
why I was trying to correct Wendy when she blasted Kelly and Michelle. Like again, going back,
That's-
take Beyonce and set her over here. You can't
very
compare.
successful
You can't
solo
if you don't
project.
compare the rest of the industry with Beyonce. You can't compare Solange, Michelle, and Kelly with Beyonce. Beyonce sets over there with Michael Jackson. That level of people.
You damn
So
right.
we wouldn't compare Rihanna to Beyonce or Alicia Keys to Beyonce. Like, you know, we do that.
Different lanes.
Well, you know, there's smart people like Harvard, and there's smart people like Texas Southern.
It's different, it's different levels. is what-
That's done white
Oh,
papers.
Lord.
You know, these things we do in an
you-
intellectual, smart basis, and we actually research numbers. We're not emotional
Yeah.
with numbers. It's an easy thing. You can
Right.
break down what a single download is. It's called a track equivalent album, TEA, or a SEA, a
It's that
streaming
knowledge I'm talking about.
equivalent album. 1,500 streams equal an album. 10 downloads on the same album equal an album. So we can mathematically do this stuff.
Right.
You know, some people are very smart and we're non-emotional.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, most black people get so emotional that they can't make an intellectual, smart decision.
Mhm. Destiny's Child, they get back together, they get out here and roll.
They're best friends, unlike all the others.
I want to say I dedicate this show to 2 people. My brother, my friend, Mr. Shakir Stewart, and my father, passed in 2016. I miss your dad, Mr. Thomas Clark. We are signing off on the legendary Jerry podcast. That's our social media handles. Miss Jamie Page.
Jamie Page on Instagram.
And on IG, everything, I'm Big Jerry Clark. And please tune in, tune in every Wednesday to the Legendary Jerry podcast. But go on YouTube, subscribe, become a subscriber.
Don't miss a beat.
And this gentleman right here is, as you see, we're going to sign off, but it's one of my favorite guys ever. It's black father. I look up to this guy straight up. I'm not saying, but do your research and see what this guy really means on the whole.
Google
All right,
can be your best friend.
everything.
Well, you know, I call it Professor Google because you can find all the answers.
Anything.
You don't even have to spell it correct.
There you go.
Jamie Page, Dr. Matthew Knowles, Big Jerry Clark. We are signing off.